Think ya, basa. I feel it through my cheek, I feel it in my heart, I feel it in my throat, I feel it on my third eye, I feel it on my crown, I feel it all around. I feel it in
How are
my
you?
Good.
Okay. What are 3 words you would use to best describe your community?
Um, Foreign, college bound, rich.
So you live in a very affluent, mostly wealthy community.
Regardless.
Okay. Um, though it is wealthy, what would you say is the number 1 problem found in your community?
it all. I am nothing. I am all.
The biggest problem within my neighborhood is the way people view it. People see my neighborhood and see that it's clean and nice and wealthy and just assume that it's a white neighborhood or even that it's only good because of the white people that do live here. Honestly, that's the biggest problem.
I said, all they need is just sit your giant hand cock. These hands lock out oozes and black blocks. The bird is a cockfight, and you're the rooster try to see over the table, but you're
Describe your neighborhood in 3 words.
Undergoing great change. Mostly good changes. There's the negative that comes with just like losing the sense of familiarity. You know, like places that I used to like just know as a part of my neighborhood, like identifying parts of my neighborhood are just no longer there. And so it always feels weird, like walking past certain places that are like used to be like my old kindergarten is now an apartment complex, and that's just really weird for me. Gentrification wasn't the term I even like hadn't like recognized. Like I didn't understand it really until like say like the past few months. And even then, like when I first heard about the term, I didn't like see it as a bad thing. It's like, oh well, they're like making neighborhoods nicer and like putting like new places in there. And I didn't really give it a thought until it started happening to me. It's like, yeah, sure, like you're taking out old buildings and making them new, or like, you know, making things pretty, but you're removing a lot of like, well, one, you displace people. People like, you know, have to move out or find a place to live, which is also annoying, you know, but also like, you remove a lot of like culture and history from the place.
One of the issues that comes with that, and especially in regards to me, is paying respect and homage to the people who live there, the people who call that area, those buildings and those memories home. Because just to come in and to tarnish what they have and to tarnish that, you know, that culture that they built without respect or care for them, for that removes not only their value as people but also just tarnishes their value as human beings. And it's not like they're building housing for the people in the community. You know, none of my friends placed there who moved in bought houses when they upscaled. It's more just like they build shopping centers and stores and then don't hire the people who live in the community and don't house the people who were living there, so they aren't making our community any better in reality, just robbing it and putting themselves there and then saying, oh, well, you know, you can just move somewhere else or you can have whatever we don't take. And that's not really fair. So I don't think they consider that at all, honestly.
Gentlemen and ladies, let me tell you, I started by addressing how the culture's fading. You say it's a phase, it's fine, but most of the time people just get lazy, commit crimes. Ain't no halfway crooks, but a glass half full might look a little different. Not the world I envision. Make Malcolm, Marcus, Marvin start sparring, spark up, then slaughter Spartans. Mark up the price. Heard that's cousin started working at night, clocking in the graveyard.
If I had to describe my neighborhood in 3 words, it would be facade, changing, and moving.
Why do you say that it's a facade?
I would say it is a facade because people sometimes inside and outside of our neighborhood, the Mill Creek area, don't know what it's really like. Like we would say, for instance, there's gun violence, like there's shootings that happen every so often, but if it's not on the news, you won't know about it. So if it's not broadcasted on the media, you wouldn't know how dangerous the neighborhood potentially is. And if you don't see the drugs, you wouldn't know that there's actually drugs in the neighborhood. The biggest problem my community faces is probably gun violence. It hasn't been a big problem for a long while until I believe last summer, because there's been so many shootings, usually over the summer, that they have decoy cop cars like sitting on the block. Like the cars are empty, but they're just sitting there, I think, as like decoys with cameras on for that purpose. I'd rather see people leave and people come for better reasons to move to different neighborhoods, for elderly people to go places that they need to go, rather than saying we're going to raise taxes, we're going to raise property taxes, and because you can't afford this, you can't live here. That's what I would hate to see happen. I live on 49th Street, and the projects are near 46th Street. And right around the corner from where I live, on 48th and Brown, there's new condos, expensive condos namely, and there's different types of people who live in this community. It's a gated community, so you don't actually see the people that are living there. So I don't know what they look like. I don't know if they even participate in what goes on in the community. They're inside their own little bubble. Strange how my neighborhood's set up. It's almost if there's some sort of partition that different types of people are separated. It's actually weird that if you could turn a corner and you could be like, wow, I'm in a different place altogether. I'm not proud to be from here. I don't think I would want to be from anywhere else. So yeah, I've had fun growing up around here, and I think my community specifically has shaped the way I've seen the world.
But all we need is like each one teach one, each one hold out a hand so they can have more things to do in the ghetto instead of just looking at it like it's so bad. Like, you know,
It's a home. It's literally just a part of me. Like, when you define me or when you ask me who I am, you cannot not mention Philly, because it's literally, it's like the egg that created what I've ended up becoming.
Always had the answer for 'em. This what they gon' pay me for. Lately I ain't shaky, niggas salty, leave 'em make it. If I brainstorm and get wavy, they gon' drown or learn to swim or die and hate me.